Hey, I'm Neil, developer of smartmoneycharts.com. And if you're like me and you like looking at the markets while you have your morning coffee, but you do not like clicking through charts and then clicking through assets over and over endlessly, and you forget what you were looking at before, then perhaps you're going to enjoy this video and you're going to be able to spot trends and reversal points across multiple assets with my app, smartmoneycharts.com, faster and better than ever before. And I'm going to show you how. Let's go over the Magnificent Seven today. Google, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, and Amazon. So with Google, you can see, well, first, this is Smart Money Charts if you haven't seen it before. And what it lets you do is to see multiple time frames at once. So you don't have to click around so much, and you can compare assets with other assets, and you can even reorder them. Okay, so you can correlate them. You can find leaders and laggards, and you can compare the indicators across different time frames, so you can get a lot more out of it because you don't have to click through charts and try to remember what you saw or have 16 monitors. And this is ideal on a 4K smart TV, which you can plug into your laptop, or you can use the smart TV browser built in and access this website, smartmoneycharts.com. Now, let's get into it with Google. So we've got a shark fin forming on the 10-day. Okay, we're outside the Nvidia Watson on the upper volatility band on the weekly. And you can see that on the 3-day, there's also another shark fin forming here. The momentum is bullish. And you can see that here. All these are green. This is the momentum. Okay. You also have these warnings for the Nvidia Watson upper. That's where the price is. And you have these standard deviations that are really z-scores, so we can cross-correlate. And if it's over 1.9, then you get this warning here. And there's other alerts too that you'll get in this handy little condensed heads-up display next to every asset. Now with Google, one of the things I'd note is on the TDI Traders Dynamic Index, you have this shark fin forming here, and you can see that there's a cross here. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go down, but it does look like it's reached a pretty significant high. And we're going to go from big time frame 10-day chart down to the 1-day chart. Okay, that's how you do multi-time frame analysis, and you put it all together to better inform your trading decisions. Okay, because everybody wants to exit at the top and buy at the bottom, and this will help you with that, and it will help you follow the trends as well. And these dots, they're color coded for momentum, so that you can spot the trends and ride them.
I have all year
Okay?
long to catch a
And
big trend. So
even
that's where the money
though
is. So
lower time frames, and they might shake you out, you can look to the left at bigger time frames and confirm that you're still in the trend or not. Okay, and trend following is, by most of the best traders' advice, the very best way to make money. Now, the day traders are going to trade quickly, in and out, but most people aren't day traders. And the real money is made on the big trends, okay?
I have all year long to catch a big trend. So that's where the money is. So
So let's go look at Google a little bit. I talked about this TDI shark fin forming on a large 10-day time frame, which means each one of these candles or dots is a 10-day period, okay, representing the close, or here the candle, the open, high, low, close, okay, the range. So that's what I see with Google. And another interesting thing is, you see how well these divergences play out. Like this bullish divergence was the signal for the bottom, and it came on the 3-day chart, which is a chart that's free to access in Smart Money Charts, but not in TradingView. You're not going to get the 3-day or the 10-day in TradingView, but you will here, and you can see them all together as you can see. Okay, and you have these signals on all the selected assets, so you can be aware of things that may be off your screen, because you can have 100 assets loaded in here, and they're not all going to be on your screen. You're going to have to scroll down for some of them. Okay, so let's talk about Nvidia. So Nvidia, what you could see is on the candlestick charts, and you can have both the close algorithmic view and the candlestick charts open at the same time, or just one or the other, whatever floats your boat. And one of the features on this chart is that you have the super trend, which is useful, but you have these wick indicators, these large wick indicators. So the wick has to be 49%, 50% or more of the body, okay? And it gets this little up or down arrow here to indicate to you something. So when it's red, it means that there's been selling action, okay? And you have this significant wick, and it does look like that. And you can see that that was here before it retraced quite a bit. Okay, so I'd be, maybe on alert, considering, is this an exit? But see, as you look down in the time frames, you can see that it's already done a significant retrace. If you're looking at just a few months perspective, and it's coming down here to the bottom of that Ndari Watson negative momentum, moving it down right into that area here, which some traders might look at that as a long to pull it back up, but it's just broken on the 3-day, the super trend, and a lot of times when it does that, there's a little bit of follow through. Again, on the daily, you can see that there has been a follow through, and there's a lot of bullish wicks here. It's a tough one to call. On the TDI, you have this low area here. It's not a shark fin, but it's potential to cross up. Now, Nvidia is one of those ones that's tough to short, so I'm not saying or recommending that, but you can see that it has retraced from highs that it made in the past. Okay, so let's go look at Tesla. Okay, so with Tesla, I think what I'd mention here is that on the 10-day, you can see that there's kind of this double top forming here. You've already got a cross down from high area on the Traders Dynamic Index. Okay, so that would indicate that there's going to be potential for a pullback. Okay. Yeah, there's that double top, a little bit higher detail on the 3-day. Okay, and then if we're looking at these candlesticks, well, on the daily, you could see some support in that Fibonacci area, the 50% and the 618. And that is a strong indicator right there on the TDI, that cross up, it's almost a shark fin to come back up out of this narrow channel. So you have these, bullish wicks. So that's how you do a little multi-time frame analysis. Meta, let's have a look at Meta. Okay, so there's a couple of things. So you could see here on Meta, this shark fin came below these Bollinger Bands here and crossed up, okay, and that led to a big move, okay, and you can see that we're getting there here again after this large pullback, okay. You can see that on the weekly, it is kind of forming this shark fin, which again, this shark fin led to a big pump again. Okay, you're at that 50% retrace on this 2-year chart, goes back 2 years, this weekly. And then the 3-day, yeah, the TDI is pretty low. It's crossing up. See, it's done the cross. It's starting to do that cross right there. The weekly hasn't gotten there yet. The 3-day is just a little bit higher resolution into the price action. Now, what's interesting is on the daily, you have this divergence, okay? So if you want to know more about what divergences are, I covered that in a TDI divergences video and how you can use them. You can see that there's a lot of bullish wick action here. Okay, and this is a daily chart going back into August. You can see it's already crossed up. So this could be a support area for Meta. Okay, so let's look at Amazon. Okay, so with Amazon, you also see this kind of a double top. Okay, the super trend's down here. Things have a tendency to gravitate back towards the super trend eventually. Okay, now there was a weekly bear div on Amazon. Okay, that's it right there. Okay, it's these two highs, these two highs. They don't match. This was a higher high, this was a lower high. So that's what creates a divergence. Okay, something that doesn't normally match because they should both be higher. Okay, but they're not. Okay, and so this trader's dynamic index is saying that there has been less interest. Okay, you can also see it, this div right here, which played out on the 3-day chart. Okay, and you could have been ahead of the game seeing it on the daily chart. Okay, which this played out earlier this month. Okay, and now it's forming this shark fin right here. Okay, so on short term, maybe we get a retrace. On the longer term, it looks like could come down a little bit more. Okay, so that does it for today's episode on Google, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, and Amazon. Go ahead and try smartmoneycharts.com and see if it can help you with assets that you like, and you can do that very easily. You can just use quick start, okay, and you can pick multiples of these, okay, and you can then reorder them however you want. And you can pick investor time frame, swing trader time frame, scalper time frame. You can select some different indicators here, but that's not all there are. And you can click this gear icon here, okay, and you'll have a lot more control in these settings. Okay, and you can choose what you want to see on each time frame. Okay, if you want to see both, or just the candles, or just the closes. Okay, you can choose smart buy indicator, the stochastic, the MACD, the TDI, the money flow, the DMI, which is momentum. You can scroll down here and you can check all these different ones like the CBOE volatility index and oil and other currencies and gold and different indexes and ETFs, some insightful pairings, which are virtual pairs, so you can see how are things going with S&P versus gold, which is a great indicator to tell you about the entire economy, and Solana versus gold, and Solana versus ETH, and Bitcoin versus the QQQ, the IYW versus gold, which is kind of our heavy tech stock ETF. Okay, tons of indexes here, nuclear, real estate, okay, treasury bonds, the oil ETFs, right, commodities. Look at all these different ETFs. You can try to get a feel for utilities, consumer staples, okay, healthcare, and so these are global. This is a set of global, so you compare global with more U.S. focused ones. Stocks, right? There's just tons of them. Okay, right? You've got your military, nuclear. Okay, got some Bitcoin miners. Right, you got financial, chip. Right, even some quantum. Right, Master, Broadcom. Even some bio like Lilly and Merck, and a few others. Okay, you've got tons of cryptos. Okay, so you can come in here, you can check those off, and you just click apply here or here, and you can get a multi-time frame view on the assets that you care about 24/7, 365 with live signals. All right, so go to smartmoneycharts.com and have a look at it. It's free to try. You can sign up and get more features. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.